Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley. Today we've got Week 14 predictions. We are now in the Final Four. Last week did not treat me too well. 16-12, probably the worst. I think that's the worst week I've had this whole entire season. Obviously, with less games, it makes it tougher to have a better record as well. The bright side, though, I've got 5 of my state championship picks remaining. 2 down, that would be Marionville in Class 1 and CBC in Class 6. Let's go ahead and look at these final scores from the past week. Archie over Lockwood, 62-58. Almost everybody had Lockwood in that one because Lockwood won in Week 1, and they're number 1 ranked this whole entire year. I stuck with Archie, though, and they win it. Worth County, a close one over North Shelby, 36-34 is your final there. Concordia, they surprised me. They've got momentum here in the playoffs. 44-14 over Wellington. Napoleon and Rockport, they do what I said they would do. St. Joe's defense could not keep up with them. Rockport drops 70 on the road. 70-12 is the final. Here's the 8-man scoreboard. We won't have this up on the screen because we've only got 2 games, so you'll see my mug on the screen for all of these. So just take a second here and let's get to it. Archie versus Worth County is the 8-man game of the week. I will go with Archie in this one. They just took down number 1 Lockwood, a revenge game from Week 1. They're scoring 61 a game. They're on a quest to three-peat in 8-man. I think they win it. Rockport versus Concordia. The Orioles have heavy momentum. They're dealing with a lot of injuries in the regular season. Now they're healthy. They're good to go. They made a Final Four run. The only issue is that they're running into Rockport. There are some people around the state that consider this Blue Jays team as number 1 in 8-man. I personally had them at number 3. They're scoring 63.2 a game, only allowing 13.8. I think Rockport wins this one at home, and we'll get Archie versus Rockport in the state championship next week. Class 1 from this past week. Putnam goes on the road and defeats Salisbury 18-0. Hayti over Van Far 38-14 on the road. Tipton wins on the road 22-14 over number 2 Thayer. And West Platte goes on the road and wins 34-7 over Adrian. You will notice on the screen right now a trend here. Road teams went 4-0 in Class 1 this past week. Here's the Class 1 scoreboard. We've got Hayti versus Putnam this week, and we've got Tipton versus West Platte. Hayti versus Putnam County. I got to go with the midgets here. This is a 6.5-hour drive for them, which is terrible. I wish Hayti would have agreed to some sort of neutral site, maybe closer to St. Louis. It happens, though. I understand them wanting the home field advantage for this one. I will take Putnam, though. I think this defense is going to shut down Hayti, who we do have top 25. We got Putnam at number 4, though. They're only allowing 7.3 a game. Tipton, they are hosting West Platte. I'll be at that game. I'm excited for this one. They are looking for their first championship appearance. Tipton is. I think they do it. I'll take the Cardinals making it to the state championship game. The senior leadership is amazing on this team, only allowing 9.8 a game. Give me the Cardinals. Class 2 from this past week, St. Pius X. They won a defensive battle over Montgomery County, 14-0. Monroe City versus Mid-Buchanan, the game I was at, 58-21 is your final there. Monroe ran away with that one in the 4th quarter. Liberty Mountain View with a 12-7 win over Lamar. And Blair Oaks, they win this one 59-7 with their backup quarterback. Shout out Bo Burr coming in there. Precautionaries with Ty. He was in concussion protocol. They just kept him out just in case. But he's good to go for next week. Class 2 scoreboard here. We've got the Lancers hosting the Panthers, and we've got the Eagles hosting the Falcons. St. Pius X of Festus hosting Monroe City. I'm going Monroe here. Both these teams play great defense. I think what it comes down to, this Monroe triple option is incredible. I actually got to see it this past Saturday against Mid-Buchanan, who was actually undefeated going into that game, and they absolutely dismantled them in the 4th quarter. I think Monroe goes into this one with a lot of momentum and gets a big road win here. Liberty Mountain View versus Blair Oaks. I think we all know how I feel about this one. Liberty is a great team. I've defended them all year. The media poll didn't want to show love, and I was always there, ranking them top 5, saying, hey, look at this defense. And you know what? Liberty's defense only allowing 9 a game. Only issue, they're going up against one of the best offenses in Class 2. Blair Oaks is scoring 52.9 a game. They won with their backup against Summit Christian, and it was a blowout. They won by 52 with their 5'7", 135-pound sophomore backup quarterback, Bo Burr. Big shout out to him for a blowout in that one. I know Summit wasn't anything crazy, but that's really impressive, him coming in there and leading that team to a win. I think the Falcons come into this one and win the Class 2 game of the week big. Class 3 from this past week. Lift for Life versus Dexter. This one is a defensive battle. Comes down to the end. Lift wins this one 8-6. St. Michael over Maryville. Maryville was down, I think, 2 scores, and they end up actually making this one a game towards the end, but St. Michael ices it. They win it 37-34. St. Clair, an amazing win over Osage. 42-28 is your final there. And Seneca, they dismantled number 2 Mountain Grove 47-14 on the road. Here's your Class 3 scoreboard. We got St. Michael hosting Lift for Life, and we've got Seneca hosting St. Clair. St. Michael, the Archangel, hosting Lift for Life. I've got Lift for Life in this one. Both these teams with incredible playoff runs, beating multiple top 25 teams. The difference with Lift for Life, they beat number 5 St. John. They beat number 1 Valley Catholic. And then they beat Dexter this past week, who I've got at 7 or 8. They've really built the resume here in the playoffs, and they've got incredible speed on this team. I think they win a little track race shootout here over St. Michael. Seneca hosting St. Clair. St. Clair had a great playoff run here, beating St. Francis Borgia and Osage. But this is a tough one, traveling about 4 hours down to Seneca, maybe 3.5. And the Indians, they are on a roll right now. They beat number 10 Cassville 47-14 and number 2 Mountain Grove 47-14. Same score the past 2 weeks for them. I think this is another 47-14 game maybe in that range of score. I'm not hating on St. Clair. They've got a great run, as I just mentioned, but this is an incredible Seneca team. I don't think anybody stops them in Class 3 this year. Class 4 from the past week. St. Mary's over Parkway North 20-14. Hannibal defeats West Plains 41-12. Festus over Sullivan 42-7. Kearney over Warrensburg 49-7. Here's the Class 4 scoreboard for this week. Festus hosting Kearney, and St. Mary's hosting Hannibal at Missouri Baptist. Festus hosting Kearney. I've got Kearney in this one. They've really proved that they're the number 1 team in the state in Class 4, beating number 2 Savannah for the district championship, turning around, going on the road to Warrensburg and winning that one. I think the defense wins it for them. They're only allowing 9.7 a game compared to Festus, averaging around 20. So I've got Festus top 10 as well, but I think Kearney, they're on a collision course for Hannibal, which we'll talk about right now. St. Mary's hosting Hannibal. I'm taking the Pirates in this one. This game is at Missouri Baptist for anyone interested in attending. I think Hannibal, they're scoring 40.8 a game. They've got a great defense that could stop this Dragon squad, only allowing 10.9 a game. I've got them at number 3 in Class 4, and I think we're set up for Kearney versus Hannibal. Class 5 from this past week. Grain Valley, they push Platte County in this one. The final is 46-33. The Pirates pull away in the fourth quarter. A shootout in Farmington versus Kirkwood. I said that Kirkwood's defense would need to win it for them, and they said, nah. 70-56 is the final there. Cardinal Ritter over Fort Zewalt North 38-13, and Carthage takes care of business. They beat Cap City on the road 36-17. This week, we got Kirkwood hosting Platte County on Friday, and we've got Carthage versus Cardinal Ritter. Kirkwood versus Platte County. This is number 1 Platte County going on the road to number 2 Kirkwood. Platte County has been tested in these past 2 games, winning close to Grain Valley and Rockhurst. They almost got knocked off by Rockhurst, but the thing that really has resonated with me. I'm drawing comparisons to this Pirates team right now to how the Denver Broncos have been, with these fourth quarter lock-ins, maybe being down or being really close and just pulling away and winning these games. I think we could see one of those again, Platte County winning over Kirkwood on the road in the fourth quarter. Carthage hosting Cardinal Ritter. I feel like Cardinal Ritter is undeniable right now. This is going to be one of the only teams that are private in the state championships. I think we should see maybe two, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong there. But, I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. But I think Cardinal Ritter, they're playoff tested, playing teams like CBC, Washington from Ohio. They played Jackson at Jackson week 1. Just beat Fort Zumwalt North 38-13, which is a really big win over a really good North team. I think Cardinal Ritter goes to Carthage and takes care of business. Class 6 from this past week. A Cinderella run for Lee Summit. They defeat Liberty 24-14. They started 0-4. They are now 8-4. Nixa defeats Helias 45-28. They pull away quickly in that one. Helias claws back into it. And then in the fourth quarter, Nixa shuts the door and they take care of business to get to the Final Four. Pattonville 4-5 in the regular season. They now have a 3-game win streak. 56-42 is the final there, and the Pirates are in the Final Four. Jackson, a big 45-42 win over CBC. It was 31-7 in favor of Jackson at a point in this game, very early actually. I think it might have been the end of the first quarter. CBC claws back into it, but the Indians hold on. Here's the Class 6 scoreboard. Lee Summit hosting Jackson, and Pattonville hosting Nixa. Lee Summit versus Jackson is the Class 6 game of the week. I'm taking Jackson. They're coming off a really big win at home over CBC, who we had at number 1. I had them winning the Class 6 championship. It just kind of felt inevitable, but Jackson hasn't lost in the pit for about 740 days, so that's an incredible streak for them. And now they're going across the state to Lee Summit. I think they win this one in a shootout. They're scoring 53.4 a game. And I have them going to the Class 6 state championship. Pattonville hosting Nixa. I feel like all I've seen on the media is people thinking this one's going to be a blowout. I don't think it will be. It's interesting to me. Pattonville, they're 4-5 in the regular season. They're on a really big win streak here. Their quarterback, Trevor Beckerman, this is a name to note. He's got 2,997 passing yards this year. He'll go over 3,000 in this game. He's got the most in school history in a single season. He has led this team, and like I said, only a sophomore. So he's got 2 more years if he stays at Pattonville to lead this school to even bigger things. It's insane that they're in the Final Four, though. That's just how the district's played out. I feel like if this were seeded, they probably wouldn't be in this position. But hey, congratulations to them. They obviously very well earned it with that win over Fort Zumwalt West. I think the big thing with Nixa, they've got a really incredible pass defense, and I think that plays into the strength of Pattonville. I think Nixa's offense won't be stopped at all in this one. Pattonville's defense has kind of let them down this year. I think Nixa runs away with it in the fourth quarter, but don't expect some 56-0 game. As we mentioned earlier, the Missouri Sports Talk game of the week is Tipton versus West Platte. Number 3 Tipton hosting number 8 West Platte. Tipton's been great to me this year. This is our 4th time covering them on the channel, my 3rd time out there. I think they win this game here against West Platte and make it to the state championship for the first time in school history in football. That's all we got for today. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. We'll see you next time.